All righty, you guys. Well, welcome tonight to our Healthy Together community time. I'm going to be sharing my screen with you. My name is Kaeley and I'm a certified independent Optavia coach. And I just want to thank you for being on tonight. I know I look forward to these every single Wednesday. And even though I've been coaching 5.5 years, you guys, I still learn something every single week, and they keep me excited about my health and my own personal development. And before we jump into our topic for the night, I just want to briefly go over our 4 components. And if you've been a client for a while, you probably know all of these, but it's never a bad idea to get a reminder, right, of all the components and how they are each so important. And if you're just exploring Optavia tonight, welcome to the call, and we're glad that you're here. So we have 4 components in Optavia, and I like to compare it to a 4-legged bar stool, right? So when we're sitting on or utilizing every leg, we're going to be balanced and stable. And the first leg is the coach. So every client gets a coach with Optavia who's there to link arms with them as their biggest cheerleader and guides them along the way. And then we as coaches, we get to be a witness to our clients becoming the dominant force in their lives. And it's amazing. The next leg is the education. And we have an incredible education system that helps change the way that our brains work, right? Because that's what it takes to have lifelong transformation. Our bodies are always going to match up to where our brain is set. And so this is the component that helps us address the mental weight loss that we can all work on. And then the third leg is the community. Have you ever heard that you become like the top 5 people you spend the most time with? Well, the Optavia community is full of amazing people just like you who are working on becoming the best versions of themselves. And if you're constantly surrounding yourself with people who are contending to become the best and most empowered version of themselves and creating the lives that they want in their physical, mental, relational, spiritual health, how could you not be excited to contend for the same in your own life? And if you're on this call right now, you're choosing to be a part of that community. So thanks for being on, and congratulations to you. And the fourth component, or the fourth leg, is the nutrition, where we make it simple and convenient to reach your health goals, right? We partly do this through scientifically proven fuelings that are macro balanced. They balance your blood sugars all throughout the day. And it's a complete system to help you get to a healthy weight, maintain it, and then we work to optimize your health. So just make sure you're utilizing all of these bar stool legs, because what can happen is if we try to balance on just the one, life throws us a curveball, right? Or we get bumped and we fall down and we default back to our old habits and we have diet results. And so the magic really is utilizing the entire system of Optavia and staying stable as we're balancing on all 4 components of Optavia. So let's move into our topic tonight, and it's all about becoming a perpetual motion machine. So 10,000 years ago, humans were in perpetual motion for approximately 3,000 minutes a week, which, if you do the math, that is equal to over 7 hours a day that people were moving their bodies. And that makes sense, right? Like, we had to hunt and gather our food to even survive. Most of our day was just spent doing active tasks to feed ourselves, our families, communities, and just doing other active tasks to live without all of the modern day conveniences that we have now, right? Like washing machines, dishwashers, grocery stores, cars, and so on. So these days, 300 minutes moving per week is actually defined as extremely active. And that is only 42 minutes a day, you guys. 150 minutes of movement per week is the minimum amount recommended to help decrease an all too common steady regression into the poor health disease. And most of us don't even get that much. And so that means that most of us are not even getting 20 minutes of movement in per day. And so have you heard that sitting is the new smoking? They're calling it the sitting disease, right? Why do they say that? It's because we're in an epidemic of disease, and more research is pointing to our lack of movement as one of the causes to this increase in physical and mental disease. And it's estimated that 86% of Americans sit all day long. That's ranging from 9.3 hours a day to 15 hours a day of sitting. Humans are built to stand upright. Your heart, your cardiovascular system, they all work more effectively that way. Your bowel also functions more efficiently when you're upright. It's really common for people who are bedridden in hospitals to experience problems with bowel functioning, right? And when you're physically active, on the other hand, your overall energy and endurance, they're going to improve, and your bones maintain strength. And it's like learning a second language, you guys. If you don't use it, you don't use your body, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose its strength, flexibility, and mobility. And space travel has actually taught us this. So astronauts would go to space, and without that constant gravitational pull, they experienced significant muscle atrophy. They had loss of fitness and other signs of aging, even in the short time that they spent away from Earth. And in our life book, in element 17, Dr. A mentions that a great place to start is by tracking your sitting and walking hours in the day. And I challenge you to try that this week. Just see what your current reality is with your activity level or inactivity level, and see if you have the sitting disease like 86% of America. So after you track it, and maybe you're finding that your amount of movement and activity is an amount that can easily lead to a life of disease, it's time to make a change, you guys. Not a huge drastic change. I'm not telling you to go from not even moving 20 minutes a day to spending 2 hours a day at the gym, right? Dr. A teaches us to focus on our micro habits and create that lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time, right? So what we're going to be talking about is called NEAT. And this is a system that anybody can implement into their daily lives. And what it does is it increases your movement, calorie burning, flexibility, mobility, and overall health. And the wonderful thing is that anybody can do this, whether you're already going to the gym every day or if you're someone who's struggling with the sitting disease. What does NEAT stand for? It stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So just call it NEAT, that's much easier. It's all about adding activity into your everyday routines, just in an organic, sustainable way. And if you can implement these 6 S's that we're going to be going through, it can have a bigger impact on your overall well-being than a structured exercise routine, because it's something that increases the natural flexibility, movement, and mobility that we were designed to have as humans. It's also all-day movement, not just the 20 to 30 minutes of structured exercise time that we typically add in a day. So it breaks into these 6 S's that we're going to cover in depth: stance, standing, strolling, stairs, samba, and switch. And incorporating these 6 S's into your daily lives, you're going to burn up to 200 to 300 calories extra per day. And it's all without breaking a sweat. So the first one is stance. And when you sit or stand up straight, it requires you to engage a lot more of your back, abdomen, legs, glutes, and shoulders. That ends up burning more calories throughout the day. So notice your posture throughout your day during your normal activities at the office, at home, in your car, and so on. And just do a self-check right now, you guys. Right now, whether you're sitting or standing, what is your stance or posture right now? If you're sitting, are you slouching forward with your head forward, or are your shoulders rolled back? See, I just had to straighten more. Are you rolled back, and is your head in alignment with your spine? And so since so many of us we're stuck in this forward rolled position, you know, looking at our phones or hunched over computers all day, you know, if you get to that point where you feel like slouching feels more natural than sitting tall, it's important that we have external cues as we work to create newer, healthier habits. And we talk so much in this program about habit formation and about having cues to help us remember to do something. So here's just an idea for you. You can have timers go off on your phone to just check in with your posture. Or if you really want to get fancy, they actually have posture devices. There's all these different kinds, but there's some, like I've seen like a necklace one that has like this little square device on the back. And as soon as you start to roll forward, it like buzzes to remind you to sit back up. And my husband is a physical therapist, and his voice is in my head right now. He's telling me to also mention that if you're new to correcting your posture, again, like Dr. A says, do it slowly, right? Wear the posture device for short periods of time during the day. The muscles that keep you upright are likely weak if you're in the habit of slouching, and you're going to need to build up endurance and strength slowly over time. The next S is standing. So opting to stand over sit engages your weight bearing muscles and burns more calories again, right? So think about your daily activities. Which ones maybe you're doing now sitting, could you be doing standing instead? What about talking on the phone? What about investing in a standing desk, or making dinner, or watching TV? You can set a timer for every 20 minutes during your workday to remind you to simply stand up. And you can add in some stretching to boost your mood and help your brain have more oxygen. And that takes very little time, you guys. Everybody has a few extra seconds every 20 minutes. Your body's going to thank you for it. And our third S is strolling or walking. And it can be really simple to add in more walking steps into your day. You can walk down the hall instead of sending an email to your coworker. You can walk to tell your kids that dinner's ready instead of yelling at them. Or maybe if you have older kids, instead of texting them, right? Like when they're in the house and you're texting them to come down for dinner. Anybody guilty done that? Park in the furthest away parking stall at work or the store. You can invest in a standing desk or a treadmill desk. I have a really cheesy picture of myself here on my walking treadmill where I do most of my work each week. And you guys, some days I easily clock 7 miles. And I have a really unhealthy spine and I've suffered with back pain for a lot of years, and walking instead of sitting to work has helped so much. So the desk part of this was just a $100 investment off of Amazon. It just goes across the treadmill bars and it holds my laptop. It's awesome, you guys, simple. Or maybe you need to integrate an external cue or motivator. Maybe that's setting a timer like we've talked about, giving yourself some non-food rewards. Maybe it's linking arms with a neighbor or a friend to be walking buddies with. And we know accountability goes a long ways, right? Or maybe it's adopting a dog. I've never been more motivated to walk than when I had our Siberian Husky puppy. Because you guys, if I didn't walk her 6 miles every day, she'd literally eat our carpet and like everything else in our house. So my external motivator was if I wanted my house to stay intact, I was going to go walking with that puppy, right? But you can also volunteer at an animal shelter, walk the dogs there, or even try fostering dogs. There's a huge need for that. And that's my only animal lover plug for today. I will digress. So the fourth S is stairs, and climbing stairs is incredibly beneficial. It dramatically accelerates your energy expenditure in a short amount of time. Just taking one flight of stairs is equivalent to walking 100 steps. So if you do the math, that means that doing 10 flights of stairs is equal to walking a half a mile. So next time you're in the mall or at work or the hotel, skip the elevator, take the stairs, right? The fifth S is Samba. And for all you yellow personalities out there, this is probably one that comes naturally to you. It's basically about adding movement into your daily routine with music and rhythm. And by doing this, you can boost your mood, lift your spirits, and engage your brain more. And simply tapping a pen or your foot to a beat in the background, that's going to burn more energy, more calories. You can swing your leg when you sit. You can sing a song, blast music in your car, right? Until like you pull up at the stoplight and people look at you. It's so awkward. That happens. Or you can have a dance party, right? And this is one of my favorites, as long as it's just with my kids. I think they're still young enough, you guys, that they probably won't be scarred by my awful dancing and lack of talent. So what we do is we just turn on, like some upbeat music, and we dance like crazy for 20 minutes. And it's just an easy way to incorporate more movement into my day while doubling as a bonding experience with my kids. But you don't have to have kids to dance, to have a dance party, right? You can turn on music in your home when you're all alone. You can shut the blinds if you're feeling self-conscious and just dance. It's good for your soul, I promise. And nobody has to know about it. Our last S is switch. And so this one is all about recognizing the small things in our lives that we try to automate that we can do manually instead. So maybe it's like simple as buying, or instead of buying grated cheese, you're grating your own cheese. Standing up to change the channel on TV, hand washing dishes, hand washing your car instead of drive-through car wash. You can invest in a $15 exercise ball to sit on at work instead of the regular chairs. Like all the cool kids are doing it, you guys. Or if you want to look even more fancy, they do make these exercise ball chairs as well. So now that you know all the 6 S's of the NEAT system, I just want to wrap it up with the why behind it, right? The why behind starting to implement these movements into your life. Dr. A teaches that you do not have to have an intensive exercise routine in place to start enjoying health benefits. Like I've mentioned, you can burn an extra 200 to 300 calories a day, just implementing these simple switches. And so what are some of the health benefits that happen when we be more active in our day-to-day lives? One of them is increased circulation, and that decreases our risk of developing type 2 diabetes and other diet-related diseases as well. It helps us have better posture, which equals less back pain, better aligned hips, better breathing. better and happier moods. We're usually sleeping better. We have higher quality of sleep, and it can help you manage a healthy weight. And you may be asking, well, how often do I incorporate the NEAT activities into my day? And the answer is anytime you think about it. In pages 339 to 347 in your life book, they actually even have these awesome tracking pages. So you can just track your habits and progress there. So check those out, pages 339 to 347. I'm going to be bringing on our guest speaker to share more of her story. But first, I just want to tell you what she shared with me when we were talking about this topic. She's been able to start implementing the NEAT system into her life in some organic but powerful ways. She's implemented switches like standing when she's folding laundry instead of sitting down like she used to. She doesn't have pain in her feet anymore, so she's naturally walking around a lot more. She's cooking more from home instead of ordering takeout because she has more energy, and now her whole family's eating healthier because of that. And she also told me that she puts music on while they're making dinner, which naturally increases the movement and rhythm, right? So she's an amazing example of utilizing the NEAT system. But I'm so excited for you guys to hear from her. One thing that coaching has given me is an incredible community of friends that I normally wouldn't have gotten to know or rub shoulders with otherwise. Shalise and I actually met at a children's museum we were both at with our little kids. And I'm so grateful that it worked out the way it did, because Shalise is such a light in my life, and her journey has taught me so much. And I've just been so blessed and to just be a small part of it. It's amazing witnessing how when she decided to pay it forward, how it's created a ripple effect in her circles of influence as well. But her story is so inspiring. I can't wait for you to hear a little bit about it and, you know, just where she was and where she is now. So Shalise, are you on? Shalise on? We're having a hard time unmuting maybe.
Okay, did it unmute?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome, sorry about that. Well,
You're
I'm
good.
so excited to share a little bit of my health journey with you all tonight. So I grew up playing a lot of sports. And so despite my questionable eating habits, I remained at a healthy weight most of my life until my early 20s. And that is when I started seeing weight gain. So I was newly married, I was going to school, working graveyard shifts, and dealing with my mom's cancer diagnosis when I first saw my big jump up in weight. And that would really begin a decade of trying to figure out how to lose weight and finding myself unsuccessful. So the death of my mom, big changes in my family that came after that, miscarriage and infertility, being diagnosed with hypothyroidism and PCOS, and then navigating motherhood, all deepened my reliance on sugar and fast food to cope with the stress and emotions of life. I really was in a place where I felt very out of control. I was super self-conscious about my size, and I was experiencing physical pain regularly. And I really was in this place where I just felt defeated. So after my third baby, I was ready to do something different. I was at my heaviest weight, and all the little things in life were just getting really hard to do. So I just knew I needed help if I was ever going to be successful in regaining my health, because everything else I had tried hadn't worked. And so I was ready to ask for help. And so I began the Nursing Mothers Plan in May 2020. I was skeptical at first, but within a couple weeks, I knew that I'd finally found what I had been looking for all that time. So not only did the weight melt off and my body completely change, but my mindset regarding health and wellness changed for the better. I really dove into the life book. I had this brand new little baby, a 3-year-old and a kindergartner doing remote learning. And it just felt like every spare second I had, I was reading in this life book. I remember feeling this huge sense of awakening. I thought, this is what I've been missing all this time. This is what I was looking for. So I just felt like I finally found this program that not only is helping me lose weight, but it's helping me become a better person. And I really just fell in love with the program, and I fell hard. And so these last 2 years, they haven't been perfect. There have been many bumps in the road, but the journey has been so rewarding. I now feel empowered in my health. I smile when I'm at Zumba, because the impact of jumping around no longer hurts my feet and I'm having fun. I'm now a 30-something-year-old who is willing to try wakeboarding and mountain biking with my husband. Oh, and you might see my little girl. I'm now running around with the kids at soccer practice and crawling through the jungle gym with this sweet little girl because she can't quite get to the top to go down the slide by herself. Oh, sorry. So now my body can move more easily and I'm not as worried what I'm going to look like trying to do these different things. I no longer take medication for my thyroid disease because my doctor says my lab work looks great and I don't need it anymore. I'm no longer the mom who handles every stress and emotion with chocolate and French fries. I'm now the mom who is healthy. I'm now the mom who is invested in being an example of a healthy lifestyle for her children and helping them learn healthy habits while they're growing up. I thought I was just signing up to lose some weight, but in reality, I was signing up for a whole personal development program. That's not only helped me develop into more, but has also had a ripple effect to others. Coaching has played a major role in my journey. I became a coach very early on in my health journey, even though I had a lot more weight to go. I just had a really strong passion for the program that was helping me so much, and I just knew that there were a lot of people out there stuck like I had been. I wanted to help them find greater hope and health like I was finding. So coaching has blessed my life immensely. I've had the privilege to help others in their journey, and in turn, it's helped me continue in mine. I honestly believe I would not have stuck around to lose 20 or 70 pounds if I'd not been a coach. Coaching helped me keep going even when the shininess wore off and I experienced bumps in the road. Coaching keeps me contending for my health and pushing myself to never settle. I've learned there's no arrival in health, but it's something to keep striving for always. And we do that one healthy habit at a time. So thanks so much for letting me share my story tonight, and I'll turn it back over to Kaeley.
Awesome, Shalise, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, her story is so powerful, right, guys? It's incredible what happens when we decide to pay it forward, not only for the incredible personal blessings that we can have in our personal health, accountability, and how we show up in all of those areas of our lives, but it's also, you know, by us saying yes to an opportunity of sharing this gift, the ripple effect, like Shalise talked about, that reaches out to so many people and blesses their lives. And do we truly understand how big of a gift that we have with this program? Optavia is now $1 billion brand, you guys. It's affected over 2 million lives. We were named the second fastest growing company in the world by Fortune magazine in 2020. And we need more people who want to reach into their own communities to affect change in the health of the world. And so we've got some extremely exciting news earlier this week from Optavia. The cost of our program is already always an incredible value for what it offers. But Optavia has announced for only the second time ever in its history that they are offering a discount to help get new clients started. It started Monday the 21st and is going to end April 18th. So if you've been on your journey and maybe your spouse or a neighbor or family member or friend, if they've been curious and asking questions, this is seriously the most perfect time to introduce them to your coach to get all the info on this really exciting opportunity where they can receive at least $90 off of their first order. Or maybe if you've been contemplating starting to pay it forward as a coach yourself, what better time is to start coaching when you can offer an incredible program with this huge discount. And just one more important matter of business, you guys, starting the first week of April, so 2 weeks from now, these Wednesday night Healthy Together calls, they're going to be pushed back by 30 minutes, and it's going to start at 6:30 Mountain, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. And so we're just going to go ahead and end our call with some basics about starting your own turnkey coaching business. And it may or may not be a fit for you, but you'll never know until you look into it, right? So stay on if you want to, but otherwise, thank you so much for joining tonight, the Healthy Together time. And we will see you next week at our regular time of 6 p.m. Mountain, just one more time. And then the week after, we will start to meet at the new time of 6:30 Mountain time and just our same usual Zoom link the week after. So thanks, you guys. All righty, well, we're just going to start our next call now. This is Exploring Coaching. And if you're still on with us, welcome. We're happy that you're here with us tonight. And so you may be having the question like, well, how does coaching work? And when you become an Optavia coach, you are starting a turnkey business with full training and a simple system for success. We train you how to find clients, match them to one of our eating plans, and how to support them. And we don't need to teach them anything, right? The Habits of Health system does all the heavy lifting for you. We just plug them into it. We don't need to be an expert, just be on that journey with them. And as coaches, we stay more plugged into the community. And this has shown to result in coaches being 500% more likely to reach and maintain their healthy weight long-term. And so a big question I had when I was exploring coaching was, well, how do you get paid, right? We were in a financially not great place. So that was one of my big interests. And so as coaches acquire clients and support them, we receive up to 31% commission. We don't have any monthly minimums or requirements for a monthly order. Like you may just be interested in helping a few family and friends get healthy. And so let's just explore what that looks like a little bit. So if you're just helping about, 5, 6 people, you're making about $500 or more a month and plan to spend about 30 minutes on average per day. And $500 is a lot, you guys. That could be a car payment, right? Or just increasing your savings that much every month. Or you can be paying off debt that's been hanging over your head. When I started paying debt off with my coaching money, it was my husband's student loan debt. And that just felt so awesome to, see that number go down every single month. Or maybe if you're like, no, I want to be able to make a bigger impact or a bigger income or both. You can't have one without the other. Maybe it's like an executive director. An executive director is like helping about 17 clients. You're making about $2,000 or more a month and plan to spend about 2 hours a day on average. And $2,000 is life-changing. That could be helping you care for an aging parent, or maybe even just pay for a family vacation and make more memories. And then if you're on this call because you're like, no, I want to make an even bigger impact. And let's say that you go for integrated national director. That means that you are helping over 100 lives, that you have about 20 clients personally at a time, that you have teams of coaches. You're making about $8,500 a month, and you're spending about 4 hours a day on average. And maybe you're ready to get out of that rat race, right? And design your life around what matters most. And so some people are leery of home-based businesses. I know I was, and honestly, it makes sense because according to Google, 99% of home-based business entrepreneurs actually lose money, and less than 1% make more than $3,000 a year. So you should be leery based off of that, right? But let's look at Optavia's actual numbers here. And 76% of coaches are making money, 76, and 15% are making more than $5,000 a year. And that is extremely different from your typical home-based business, right? And why is that, you might ask? And I just imagine it has something to do with several factors, but Optavia's program works for starters, right? It's based on medical science. We are a professional coaching service business. We are a publicly traded billion-dollar company that's been around for 40 years. You might be wondering if you have time to start a new business. And I found that this business fits into the nooks and crannies of life, and it ultimately gave me more time freedom after putting in the hard work, right? And we'll train you how to find clients with weekly Zoom webinars. They're all recorded. So if you have a job, a second job, or whatever that interferes, it's totally fine. You can listen in at any convenient time with those playbacks. And this is so much less of a sales job and more of a sharing your heart opportunity. We say we don't sell and tell, we share and care. And so you might be asking yourself like, well, is coaching right for me? And I would just challenge you to ask yourself a few of these questions. Number one, do you enjoy helping people? Are you coachable? Do you want to stay healthy personally? Do you personally want to work on your personal development? And are you a hard worker? We all have the what if questions, right? Like, what if I fail? What if I'm not good at coaching? And I just would challenge you again to turn those what if questions around. If we're going to play the what if game, we may as well play it the other way too, right? What if you succeed? What if this could change your life? What if someone else's life was saved because of your decision to get out of your comfort zone? So connect to the person who invited you to the Explorer if you wanted to explore it more and get any questions that you answered by doing an individual coaching assessment. And just ask yourself this last question. If I keep doing what I've been doing, will I get different results? Are you ready to take a new path and help others? So we're now starting the Coaching Quick Start training. So thank you for joining us tonight. Feel free to stick around to learn more if you want to, but this next call, or this, yeah, I guess this next Zoom part is for new coaches, but you're welcome to stay and join if you want. Thanks, everybody. All right, you guys, you've made it with me this far. We're into the last little bit. So please feel free to start your video if you're able, if you're on as a coach or maybe somebody exploring it. There's going to be a raised hand feature under the reactions button. So this is going to be an interactive Zoom. It's way more fun that way, you guys. We love to see and hear from you. So if you're a new coach, put a raised hand thing, I'm a Bob, in the Zoom thing. And I'd love to have you come off mute, say your name, your mentor's name, and just in 2 sentences, why you decided to start coaching. I'm gonna stop sharing so I can see everybody. Okay, hands raised. Sarah Vance.
Hey, sorry, I don't have makeup on or anything here, but Tiffany Turner's my coach and I'm new. So just did my first little few health assessments this week, and it's been kind of fun just to share that, because I'm having some good success myself. I've been doing it for about 5 weeks or 5.5 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm liking it a lot, and I just think it's cool to share it because for people that have struggled to find a way to make this work, to lose weight, this is a really neat way to do it. So
yeah.
Any other
awesome.
things? That's good.
Yeah, yes, it was perfect. Thank you, Sarah. We're so happy you're here. Any other new coaches on tonight? I don't know if I see any other hands. Raise your physical hand if you don't know how to do the, okay, Brad, there you go. Oh, Brad and Lori, okay. Let's go Brad first. Brad, want to come off mute and just share your name and who your coach is, and in 2 sentences why you started coaching.
Hi, my name's Brad Lowenz. My coach is Heather Humphreys. I started coaching because I love the program, I love the plan, and I love helping people.
Awesome. I love it. Perfect, Brad. Thanks for sharing. We're glad you're here. And Lori, I think you were the other one. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you see me?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Amy is my coach. Can't remember her last name. That's horrible.
Amy Miller, maybe?
Yes, Amy Miller.
Awesome.
Hello. Cool. So I just saw a lot of changes in people around me that I work with. Actually, amazing changes that I was like, what are you doing? I want to do that too. And Amy is amazing. She just walked me through everything. Then people started asking me, what's her number? I'm like, wait, just wait for it. No, give me her number. I'm like, no, just wait for it. And I joined and became a coach.
Awesome. Well, we're glad you're here, Lori. Thanks so much for sharing. And then I think there's one more hand now. Joni, are you there? I can't see you.
Hi. Yeah, no, my hand is not right.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
Is your name Toby? Is that how you say it?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, go ahead and share, Toby.
I actually didn't have my hand raised, but I'm just new to the program and learning more, and just really excited to be a part of it. I just started 2 weeks ago and I've lost 8 pounds so far. So I've been debating or not whether I want to coach this program. I really am impressed with it. But so yeah, just viewing today.
Awesome. Well, we are glad that you're here and viewing, Toby. So thanks for being on with us. And it's like the best decision you could ever make. Like, other than marrying my spouse, this is the best decision I've ever made 5.5 years ago.
That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being on. Okay, was that everybody? Did I skip anyone? Okay, awesome. Let me make sure I'm not supposed to share my screen anymore. You guys, now I'm like out of my groove. I like do this thing that like I can't do PowerPoint. Oh yeah, okay. I probably should share my screen just for the disclaimer. Okay. I did it wrong. I'm sorry, you guys. See, even you can be a successful coach because I've been doing this forever and I still can't run a stinking slideshow. It's so sad. Okay, I can just keep doing it wrong. It's fine. Like, we'll just keep this up. All right. Well, is anyone brave enough, newer coaches, just to share a little bit of your story? And so that way we can start learning what's possible. Sarah, your hand is still raised. Did you want to be brave and come off, or is it just still raised on accident?
Accident. I don't know how to. What do I do?
You're good.
Lower hand. There it is. Did it?
You did it. You're good. We're all
Sorry.
learning together. No, I'm glad you're here, Sarah. Anyone else? One of the newer coaches want to share a little bit of your story? And try to figure out this slideshow thing here while someone's getting brave. Okay, Lori, you're on. Go for it.
Hi. Okay, so the story I want to share is I've been on yo-yo diets all my life. And it works, then I'm off. Then I'm on to my addiction, which is food, sugar, crunchy, anything that I can just keep eating. Even when I'm full, I'll keep eating. And so I don't think I was really putting anything healthy into my body until I started this program and learned eating every 2 to 3 hours. By the time I had to eat my lean and green, I was full. I'm totally detoxed off sugar. It feels so good. Even if I had my grandchildren this weekend, I had a little bit of taste of sugar. It made me want to walk. So that's my story, that I feel like I'm in a program where I'm not going to go back and I'm only going to go forward.
Oh, I love that. Especially that last line. That's a good one. Lori, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And as you guys keep working with your mentorship team and as you keep going along this journey, it's going to just keep developing. Like my coaching story over the last 5.5 years has transformed so much, like with me, you know, and so it's this constantly evolving, changing thing. But when you're constructing your story, it's good to always talk about healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances. And so even if you just have just the healthy body part right now, like the other things are going to come as you continue. So I love that. Thanks for being brave and sharing. And Brad, you're raising your hand and I really appreciate it, but I'm afraid that I'm going to be short on time. So we're going to skip. Just go to the next slide. So some will say that you have to have money to be able to make money, right? But that depends on what you're investing in. If you don't want to put any of your time and hard work in, yeah, you're going to need some money, right? But the more hard work you're willing to invest, the less money that you're typically required to bring to the table. And so you've invested $199 in your kit so far, which in the investing world is not like, it's nothing, you guys. My husband is, I mentioned he's a physical therapist and he's looking to start his own business now. And we're kind of in the beginning of that. $199 is nothing. Like this has opened my eyes to like how much bigger of a gift this is than I already knew. So with this business, your asset is you, right? If you want to be successful, you invest your time and you increase your skills and influence. And we're going to talk about ROI in just a minute, but have you set expectations up with a time frame? Do you think that you'll buy your coach kit and just be a millionaire in a month? It's unlikely, right? Just like when you invest in real estate, the stock market or other businesses, it's playing the long game. That's the good strategy, right? So just realize that you're building a business and committing to at least 3 to 5 years to build it up to stability, right? And like I said earlier, your biggest asset in this business is you as the business owner and CEO of your Optavia business. And this is why we suggest to invest in your continuing education through our weekly team training webinars. Those are all free, you guys. Attending events, those are all tax write-offs, personal development books, podcasts, and making time to connect with your mentorship. And that is something I absolutely love about coaching you guys, is that when I'm investing in my business by doing personal development and just working on becoming a better human, that's not only the way, it doesn't only change the way that I show up as a coach, it also helps me show up better as a mom, as a wife, like all the things that matter to me. Let's talk about ROI, which stands for return on investment. And the trick to becoming successful is to learn to be an investor rather than a spender. And so you decided to invest $200 in beginning your business. But what could have happened if you had decided to invest instead into a savings account? The upside about having a savings account is that the money is liquid, right? If you need to spend it, it's there. The downside is that the return on your investment is practically non-existent. If you invested $200 into a savings account, in 1 year, you'd make like $1 if you had a really good savings account. So instead, let's say that you invest in something that yields 10% annually, which would be a solid return, by the way. The upside is you will most likely not be expected to do much work with it, and you'd end up at the end of the year $20 richer. So that's not a ton of money, right? It's not that exciting. But the downside is it's not going to be liquid. Maybe that's actually an upside since you couldn't spend it, right? But now let's talk about what you did invest in. You invested in your Optavia business. The upside is you get to decide how much time and energy you invest to get the return on your investment that you want. So even if you had 5 clients in the entire year, even one person ordering 5 different times, you'd make over $300, which would actually be a 50% return on your investment, even after accounting for the cost of the kit. So I want to invite you to start building your hustle muscles. And some success in this business is about sharing your story, like Lori bravely did, right? Sharpening your skills and getting into action. And maybe you have a big wow factor, right? Like maybe you have this incredible weight loss story and you're literally a walking billboard. And if you do, you might have a few clients that kind of fall into your lap without effort. But if you want to make a bigger difference in the lives of people in your circle, you will need to have a good work ethic too. And when people get healthy, you make more money. You guys, it's impossible to separate those two things, okay? If you have issues with money making, then you can just send all of your money to me or to a charity. That would be better, but I know what to do with money, guys. So connect to your why if you want this, right? It's about time freedom. It's about a better future for your family, a healthier version of yourself. Like, what's yours? Write this why down. One of my favorite quotes is, if your why isn't big enough, your excuses will be. So make sure that that coaching why is so powerful and so strong. And then get to work, commit to working on your dreams. If you can invest even 30 to 60 minutes a day, most days of the week, you can build a really great business. All right, guys, are you ready for your first step? It's gathering the low-hanging fruit. Maybe you have people who you've already talked to about your business. Maybe you have friends and family that you've talked to about weight or health issues in the past. Maybe you're in a situation where people already ask you how to be healthier. Maybe you already have that reputation. So contact these people first and set up health assessments with them. And it's as easy as sending a quick text like this one on the screen. This is actually found in your Coaching Quick Start PDF that your mentor emailed you. You can also find it right in your Coach Biz app. And for those on here kind of exploring coaching still, you guys, we have an app. It's amazing. It's just this free app, and it's like this gold mine of all the things that you need all in your hand. So, but your mentor will help with the first health assessments so you can become confident moving forward. And then you'll learn how to follow up and handle objections as well. So then you need to ask yourself, am I open for business? Would you buy a car wash franchise and then not open it for business? No. People will not know that you can link arms with them on their health journey unless you tell them you can. So do your grand opening on social media with something similar to what you see on the screen. This wording is also found in the Coaching Quick Start PDF and the app. So add a picture and be sure to have your mentor approve it before putting it live. Your mentor is basically just going to look and make sure that it's compliant, and also best practices and wording so that you don't accidentally sound salesy. And I would love somebody to come, like a more seasoned coach, to be able to come off mute and just share how coaching has helped you with your healthy body, mind, or finances. And if you could too, maybe just share too, like maybe some concepts that you had to overcome. Maybe it was not having enough time or worried about posting on social media. Any seasoned coach on tonight want to share that?
I'm willing to share. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, so all of the above, first of all, when you talk about concepts, you know, it's interesting because I had it was not in the cards at all, or it was not even something I had thought of when it came to coaching in the beginning. And what's so interesting after like 5 years of coaching is to look back and reflect on how much it truly has blessed my life in so many ways. Like originally starting like thinking, you know, just to help maintain my weight, but it's really helped on not just that, but just improving relationships, being able to create these connections and relationships with people that I never really thought that was possible. And just, it's really just expand my world and help me show up as a better wife and a better mother in like all facets. But what's interesting when you talk about concepts, like I worked full time when I first started coaching. So I was like, I definitely don't have time. I don't know all the things. And I don't know that I would be good enough because all I did was just do the program in like 3 months and lost my weight. So those were definitely the concepts. But what I've learned is that you lean into the process, you build the skills, and you are able to kind of like overcome those concepts as you go and as you grow.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you, Heather. Yeah, so if you're on this call, you guys, and you're feeling like you have those concepts too, those fears, those worries, just know you're in good company. Like, I don't know if I've ever met a coach who hasn't had fears before they sign up, right? Or even like the whole time, like you're coaching, like we all have those things that pop up for us. And I'll just share with you guys, since I feel like there's a lot of people in here I don't know, a little bit about my coaching story. I actually hadn't done the program myself. And so I had a lot of fear of like, well, you know, when I later lost 5 pounds doing the program for 2 weeks so I could kind of see what it was, nobody noticed. People weren't asking me where those 5 pounds went, right? And so I was worried that I wouldn't be able to be successful. Like, oh, well, no one's going to notice that I'm different. No one's going to be asking. But it still worked out, you guys. People don't need a perfect image of a health coach, right? Like whether you're at a healthy weight right now, whether you still have 200 more pounds to lose, like it doesn't matter. They just want somebody to be able to link arms with them and be on the journey with them. And you can do that if you're a person who cares. That's all you need to do. But for me, when I came into coaching, I had a passion for health because I had yo-yoed weight for 13 years, the same 30 pounds on and off from 6th grade until after my second baby. And I had done it so many toxic ways. I did it through self-loathing and willpower and grit and all of that. And then as soon as life would come in the way and something stressful happened, I'd put it all back on because I would resort to binge eating and sugar, excessive sugar eating and all of that. And so for me, I was able to find health through healthy habits before I found Optavia, and definitely was not this clean or neat or amazing. Like it took me 2.5 years to lose 25 pounds, guys. So like the fact that women lose 10 pounds per month on average, that's pretty incredible. But for me, I had a passion for it. And when I heard about this program, I was so excited to be able to have something I could actually hand somebody and plug them into and say, hey, look, this works. Because what I was doing, nobody wanted to do it. It was too much. So also for us financially, I mentioned, you know, we were in a bad place. My husband went through grad school. They make them get doctorate degrees for physical therapy, and they don't pay them like doctors. And we had this huge debt. And so I came in saying, I just want to make $200 a month. That might be able to keep me home. You guys, I didn't know how to dream. Like my dreamer was this big. And so when I told my mentor that, she's like, let's dream bigger. Like, how big do you want to go? And I'm like, 500. Like that was as big as I could think. But you guys, like I went to work, I saw the amazing gift that this was and the potential it had to help people. And so I put in the work, and there's people out there, and you guys right now, with that $90 off the Optavia is offering, you could not have signed up at a better time. And this is already a really good time of year to be coaching anyways. So it's just blessed our family so much, like not only with maintaining my healthy weight for 6 years now, but also with my healthy mindset. We've been able to go through some really hard things. My daughter was diagnosed with cancer when she was 3 years old, and that was 3 years ago. Yeah. And she went through 2.5 years of chemotherapy. And you guys, I'm able to look back on that experience and like be grateful it happened. And I know that sounds so weird. And there's times that I hate that it happened too, but overall, I am so grateful because I have grown so much. With Optavia, we teach that the obstacle is the way. And I was so blessed to have been learning that for 2.5 years by the time she was diagnosed. But financially for us, this has just opened up our eyes to how much we can do for the world, for others, but also the quality of lives we can have for ourselves with traveling and all that. So that was a tangent, but there's a little bit about me. So I don't know what time it's supposed to end. I feel like I ended really early. Is Jared still on? Did we shorten this? I feel like it was less. Am I supposed to ask for questions, or are we just supposed to end early? Maybe Jared hopped off.
I'm still here.
Oh, okay. He got bored of me talking. Jared, are we ending early, or should I ask for questions?
If anybody has anything to share, anything that they are afraid of, that they are struggling with, questions about if people are still on that aren't coaches yet who are considering it, take yourself off mute, and we've got about 8 minutes. But if no one's brave enough, then yeah, we'll end early.
Okay, awesome. I'd love to stay on for you guys if you want to come off, so don't feel bad if you're like, oh, I don't want to keep them. I was supposed to fill this time. I don't know what happened. I just went too fast. Yeah, Lori, go ahead.
Okay. I just want to say I'm excited to become a coach. I'm looking forward to what the opportunities are going to be lying ahead of me. I have some great mentors, and I feel blessed.
Love it. Thanks, Lori.
Thank
We are
you.
all blessed. This is an incredible, incredible opportunity. I had no idea when I decided to sign up for coaching. I had no idea. I thought I was just going to help people lose some weight, get healthier that way, but so much more. It's all about helping them change their mind and showing up better in all the areas. So thank you so much, Lori. Anybody else have anything? Yeah, Amy's hands up.
I can just share that, you know, it's just been incredible. We had all the concepts. Like when I first started coaching, I don't even think I use Facebook that much, other than to just hop on and see what other people were doing and be nosy. I didn't know anything about, like, I didn't even have a printer, or I didn't use a computer. I didn't use anything. So I was super scared just because of technology in general. And I thought, there's no way I have the personality to connect with people, let alone like try to figure out. I don't even think I had ever sent an email in my life until I became a coach. That was probably the first time I sent an email. Like I just kind of existed with my phone and calling people as I needed to, not really for any other reason, because I wasn't social. And so I've just enjoyed being able to not only learn those things, but I love talking to people now and socializing and just connecting with other people. And I feel so blessed. I would have never, if I hadn't said yes to coaching, I would have never met Lori through social media. I met another friend of hers that it introduced us, but welcomed a way for me to just meet new people that I care so much about, and I'm blessed to be part of their life now and have them in my life. And so I'm just excited for Lori and all the other new coaches, and anyone else who's thinking about it. It's scary. It's scary when you first get started, but those fears just kind of go away as you just learn more and you grow more, and there's always people to help you. So thank you.
Amy, I love that. I never ever would have guessed that you didn't know how to do any of that stuff. Like, because I mean, like, you get the training, right? And I wouldn't have guessed. So that's amazing. So thanks for sharing that, Amy. I think it's easy to just fill our minds with all of these stories, right? And like, we give ourselves these limitations or these excuses why we can't do something, because that way we get to stay in our comfort zone and it's comfy there. You know, we don't have to do anything different or scary. So that's awesome, Amy. Thanks for sharing that. Anybody else?
Can I share something?
Yeah, of course.
So one thing that I just wanted to mention is, you know, when you get started coaching, you look around at all these amazing coaches, and there's a lot of things to admire in all of them. And it's really easy to take a look at yourself and be like, I relate to Amy with the technology stuff, you know, that's a real struggle of mine. And so to look around and see where your gaps are. But the thing that I am learning is that there are people all around us who relate to us specifically. And so we don't need to be like any of the other coaches. We can just be ourselves, and whatever our struggles are, that's okay. People are far more forgiving than we give them credit for, that we realize even, you know, or how we are with ourselves. So just being yourself and accepting that you do maybe have some skills that are missing and that you can grow. And I do love that our community of coaches, you know, I feel like the health program was great for me. I didn't start coaching until a year into my health, and I had already lost my weight, but the coaching takes you kind of that next level with your health. It really does. You really start to dig in and understand better. And then when you realize that our coaching community is so welcoming, I've never worked in another place where people have been so positive and encouraging. And we have an amazing team that way. And so even in our gaps that we feel that we have, there's so many people ready to help and to teach and to share. So just keep trying and know that it's okay. You can do it. You can do it scared. You can do it without some skills to begin with. You just keep going.
So true. 100%, Stacy. I love it. And what she said is so right, you guys. Like, I attract people that maybe other people don't, and I repel people that maybe other people attract, right? Like, we're all different. We each have different weaknesses, different skills, different strengths. And somebody out there needs exactly what we have, not the coach next to us, not that coach. And that's why it's so important that, like, we have this huge community of coaches, because, you know, I think we each have different, you know, different lights and different strengths to offer people. So I love that, Stacy. Thanks for sharing. All right, we have time for probably one more person if somebody wanted to come off mute. Yeah, Jared said, plug in. Coaches are just like electric appliances. Our real power comes from being constantly plugged in. And I will testify to that. When I have struggled in coaching in the last 5.5 years, I'm not plugged in 100% of the time. So yeah, thanks, Jared. Toby, are you raising your hand?
I am, yes. So I am a life coach right now. And I'm trying to like debate whether or not if I want to endeavor in this kind of coaching as well. Hi, buddy. My son just got home. And so my biggest thing is this becoming as part of my coaching business, or am I joining something new? Like, would I be able to, like, am I kind of in control of like, okay, we're going to meet once a week and talk to me about this and that or the other kind of thing. Does that make sense?
I think so. I'm going to let Jared answer that one.
Well, we certainly have best practices, and we've been doing this a long time. So I would personally encourage you to meet privately with the person who invited you and kind of explore what that will look like for you. I came into this business with other business experience. And what I found for myself was when I was trying to play both games, I wasn't successful in either one, right? So when I got really focused and I said, I am a certified Optavia coach, our business exploded. I'll tell you this from personal experience. I've done a lot of mentoring with really high level people, and there's no mentoring and no life coaching skills in this world that are better than those that are learned in the Habits of Health program, in the life book. So I choose to follow Dr. A's vision and the Habits of Health, but we are independent coaches. So we do have some flexibility if you have other certifications and so forth. But I would, like I said at the beginning, I would just meet with the coach that invited you and talk about those things specifically and see if it works into what you want to accomplish.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Great question. And I'm glad Jared was on to answer that. I didn't want to say anything non-compliant. Well, you guys, we're at time. So thank you so much for lasting this long with me, you guys. And just remember to connect with your mentorship team, complete your training videos, right? The Coaching Quick Start trainings. And then just get into action because all that training's worthless if you don't get into action, right? Post your Share Your Heart post, work with your mentorship team to connect with your responders and begin to do those health assessments. And earning your CAB bonus by helping 5 people in your first 30 days is a great way to feel the momentum of that daily action, right? You can do this, especially with this $90 off, you guys. I'll say it again, best time ever to start coaching. So you guys got this in the bag. So thanks so much, you guys. Have a wonderful night. Thanks for being on.